Hello guys, Denise,
Deannette,
Pier Hill Farms.
it is your second episode of
Double Trouble Weekend Review.
our weekend review. How has our week been, sister?
Busy.
As you can tell.
I know. All the little curlies and everything.
We got a special guest with us today.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Levi. He's always involved in our double trouble, aren't you, Levi?
He gets tired of our double trouble.
No, I don't.
You don't?
Because I've never been in one.
Maybe he hasn't recognized it, but anyway. Thank you for coming back and joining us this week. We have had a busy week, to say the least. It's been one of them weeks, I'll just tell you. So
It has. It's been another whirlwind of a week, sister.
yes, it sure has. We started. We've had a lot of rain this week. I can't tell you. We probably had 3 or 4 inches of rain.
2 days we've had. 2 days. Yesterday and the day before we've had like a bunch of rain.
It was
Raining all
an
day.
inch and a half yesterday.
Inch and a half.
And the day before it was 2 inches. I mean, so we're looking at 4 or 5 inches of rain. In the
It's
last 2
rained
days.
every day, and I don't want to complain.
No.
I don't want to be ungrateful for the water that God's given us.
No, we don't want to do that.
Because we know that there are peoples. Listen, do you hear that?
That's about how I feel.
Right. People that are experiencing great drought, and we have prayed for God to bring the rain there, and nourish the land.
Yes.
So I don't want to be ungrateful
Mm-hmm.
for the rain that we've got.
That's right.
But it sure has made it difficult to get in there and plow the grass and the weeds.
Right.
It's so wet, and you're not supposed to be, sister. You're not supposed to be hoeing or plowing when it's wet around. Did you know that, Levi? Because you can kill your plant.
Yeah.
So that was a big rule Dad always had. If it was too wet, you just stay away from the plant. That's right.
Wait for it to dry out.
Let it dry out. So the sun is shining today.
Beautiful day today. Of course, we
Beautiful.
have been in the car most of the morning running errands for the farm.
We had to get a microphone,
Yes, we hope it makes a difference.
so we hope that it makes a difference in the video.
We hope so.
If anybody has any suggestions, if this doesn't work, on what we could do to improve, I guess.
Exactly. We love comments on helping us improve, what you'd like to hear us talk about, things like that.
We got some great comments last time.
Yeah, great comments. And so we're hoping that each time we do this, it gets better and better for you guys. So to start our week off, let's go to, Sunday it was storm, Saturday.
Saturday we had to work on, remember we talked about on our last video, sister, about getting those babies away from that mama.
Yeah, so Saturday
Was spent.
my poor husband, 17 hours of work. He was working that weekend.
So you'll see the video on that, and that'll be the reason why her husband wasn't here.
Yeah,
And
but
didn't join
we
us.
got the extra hog pen built. We have a video coming for that, so be ready for that. I do want to say right up front, real quick, we are trying our best to make sure our videos are coming out on Mondays and Wednesdays,
Yep.
and then this little podcast on
Fridays.
Fridays for you guys, so you can keep up with us. It is really hard. There are 4 families involved in this YouTube stuff, and it's hard to get all of the dynamics together. Sometimes we have technical difficulty, and sometimes the videos don't
I think
want to
that's what
upload.
happened Wednesday, is we had technical difficulties. We couldn't get the video loaded.
Right. So bear with us. We're working those details out. We are definitely not
Amateurs.
not professionals here
That's
at all. We're just happy to bring you our life and our farm life and everything that we go through, and we want to do it, but we're learning about technology all in the same. So bear with us. We do have a video that we tried to get uploaded for yesterday, and we could not get it uploaded. So hopefully next week we can start our Monday, Wednesday videos, I hope. And we want to try to keep those videos very current for you. And there may come a time when we have to do an older video at some point.
Throw that in.
And throw that in there just so that you guys still have things that you can see.
And
what
we
we're
had
doing.
somebody today contact us about, did we have canning corn videos or canning green bean videos?
They
And
really
I
want
could
to
have
see those.
sworn that we had done some videos on those, but apparently not. And
Right.
so we want to make sure, you know, that we get that out, because we want it to be informational.
Right.
We want it to be part of our journey as well.
Mhm.
Kind of easy
And what's that?
snapping on the.
Snap beans?
Oh yeah, that's real easy.
Right. But
Mhm.
All it is to it is you put them in like a bucket and you hold it on your lap. You've got to have an extra bucket to put the shells in, and so, or the ends in.
Mm.
So you break it. Snap beans, you just snap them.
Mhm.
With the
I'm sorry.
with the thing on, with still the skin on, but the ends go in the bucket. But with like the other piece, you just let your thumb or finger down the middle, open it up, and dump and put those
those pieces fall in your bowl. Right.
Yeah, they
but
go
not
in
the
your
snap beans.
Okay, Levi, how old are you?
7.
7 years old. And he's learning about snapping beans and shelling peas
Already.
and shucking corn and all that.
Mm-hmm.
7 years old. Kids need to know this stuff.
Absolutely.
Kids need to know this stuff. Wow. So back to, but we're talking about the videos real quick. We are going to work on making sure that we're getting those videos out for people
Right.
to see. So bear with us.
So be on the lookout. Mondays, Wednesdays should be regular videos.
Should be regular videos.
And then on Fridays, you're going to get our double troubles by Friday night.
Yeah, on
And,
Friday evening.
So be on the lookout for that.
So Saturday, we started out our week with our hog pen that we had to build.
Right. The guys went to the store.
Yes.
And what were we doing while they were gone? We were doing something while they went and gathered the materials for that. And I can't remember what we did Saturday morning.
It's a blur, sister.
It is a blur.
It's a blur. What was it?
But they went and got all the equipment that we needed, the hog panels, the T-posts,
Yeah.
and stuff to add on. And we were really in a rush that day because remember, we knew that there were storms coming in
Every time we work on the hog pens, it seems like we have a storm that comes
If
in.
you'll see our previous hog pen where we built the lean-tos,
Yeah.
we had to stop and
Wait for the storm to pass.
wait for the storm to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And so we actually, how far did we get before some straight line winds come through? It looked like it. I mean, we were having to get out from under the pecan trees.
Yeah, we had to rush.
It was pretty intense there for just a minute.
Yeah.
And we thought, I mean, it looked like it was about to storm.
That front was moving in, and
the winds
picked up.
blowing.
Everything was blowing around. Everybody took off to their respective
We
homes.
were moving cars because if you've ever been around a pecan tree, when the wind comes,
Yeah.
it might prune a big limb.
Mhm.
And so we hurried and got out, and we all got inside. And then once we got inside, Denise, you and I, we started working on our we had let our pickles marinate or sit in their brine.
We didn't do that till Saturday night. Wait.
It was Saturday after when we come in, we started working on the squash. Oh, we got to tell them about the new squash canning thing we learned.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we can't take credit. We must give credit where credit is due.
Yes.
Stumpy watched for years the old Alabama Gardener,
Mhm.
and as I don't know if any of you watch him, but he recently passed away. Goodness gracious, not too long ago, and but we had an okra video that Stumpy had watched from him, and on how he processed his okra,
Canned it.
how he canned it exactly, and it was
For frying.
for frying, right? And it was delicious.
Yes.
We fell in love with it because there's only so many ways that you can cook okra. You can stew it in your peas, and not everybody likes that because it gets slimy.
Mm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can do stewed tomatoes and okra.
Mm-hmm.
I love okra.
Or you can, if you have it
pickle
fresh,
You could pickle them too.
you could pickle it.
I've never done that, but
Right. But we knew, and frying it fresh, the stuff would never stick to it, right? You remember that?
Mm-mm.
And it would be soggy.
Right.
And so, oh, I know it. And then Paw, as he calls him, or Stumpy, cooked us some of that, or
Johnny.
processed some of that processed or canned okra.
Mm-hmm.
And we were one from the get-go, weren't we, sister?
Right. So now we have found you can do your zucchini squash and your yellow squash the same way. And I'll try to remember to put in the link for the Alabama Gardener, that recipe for canning those.
For canning your squash.
I found it easy when I Googled it. It was so easy. But I'll try to see if I can get that link and put it in.
Even
in
Levi loved it. He doesn't really like squash.
I'm just telling you, it was really, really good.
It was delicious.
So we cooked that this week. But we canned those on Saturday. We got our pickles cleaned and prepped and ready to go into a salt brine to sit overnight because it needed to sit 12 hours or so.
Well, the problem we were having with our previous pickles, we all love pickles.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with our dill pickles,
Not all.
well, right, some of us don't. But the pickle wouldn't stay crunchy, and so the flavor was delicious, but it was just weird eating that mushy pickle. And so we wanted to try. We had found soaking it in a salt brine overnight was one way that you could help it stay crispy. So we wanted to try that, and so then we let that soak overnight, and we were going to work on that. Sunday
after church.
Right.
So then we go into Sunday morning, and of course we're in church every Sunday morning that we possibly can be in church.
They teach a Sunday school class, and we also teach a Sunday school class.
2 different Sunday school classes
on opposite ends of the church.
So, but in the middle of our Sunday school class, we get a phone call. I get a text message from a country neighbor that lives down the way. She's so precious. Her and her husband. Obviously, they had come by our street and saw 2 baby calves out and thought they were ours, which they were. So I sent out a mass text and said, we got cows out, but me and Eric felt like we might could handle it ourselves. We told them we're going to go and see if we can handle it and get them in, and we'll get back in touch with you. Now, y'all, I don't know how much we talked about it last week or not, but we have 4 steers
and a female.
And
5 baby cows.
And those new steers, they've found a way.
There's 2 of them particular that have found.
Well, there's more, because one time it might be the baby girl with somebody, and then it may be the one. They all look alike, but there's one that has a white little belly spot. He's the instigator.
Okay, well, let me tell you what I found out this morning. The one with the white belly on the backside, there's under on the. You can look between his hind legs. He's got a white plot. That's October Grace's baby.
Are we sure? Because we saw 2 milking on her last week.
Well, this one
this week.
This one went in and milked with her. When we got done, that's another thing today I got to do, but I'll have to share that in a little bit. But anyway, so it's an October Grace's baby that's called.
Anyway, we've never had issues. We have 4 strands of barbed wire going around our fence. It's very, very
and
tight.
Some places are 5.
Some places are 5. And so we've never had this problem, but everybody knows once a cow gets out, it's hard to keep them in. And so twice this week, Sunday and then yesterday morning again.
Well, right.
Mm-hmm. So we leave church to come home, of course, and it's we knew the weather was about to get bad. So we get home, and of course my baby girl's getting married in September, and she was already out here on the property, her and her fiance, getting ready to take pictures for their engagement pictures, and she with a photographer, and she called me, Mom, you got cows out. Yeah, we're almost here. We're here. So we work to get those cows in. Now, you have to understand we have 17 acres of land, and where they get out is on the far end of our property, up close to my mama's house. Mm-hmm. And they get out, they walk down the street around the fence line, and they're down here close to our place. So they make their rounds. But they were standing in the middle of the street when we got home. We changed clothes.
Yeah.
we get on the golf cart. Me and Eric try to get our game plan, and of course it's baby girl and one steer. Don't know which one it was at the time. I don't think it was a white-bellied one. Trying to get him in.
Yeah.
Oh my heavens. And it was hard. We got her in the fence. You know, 2 people, it is kind of hard. We got her in the fence. Of course, meantime, my baby girl's all over this property getting her pictures made, and the photographer's watching us chase these cows and all. And we managed to get them both back in the fence.
Yeah.
So we knew that we had to do something pretty quick, of course. And so, in the meantime, my baby goats have discovered at the back gate
Yes, I forgot.
there's a little slit through there. And so when we're done with the photos that they're taking, we're walking back across the middle pasture to get back to the golf carts, and here comes my goats through the fence. And they were worked up because goats out of their normal.
Yeah, they don't do well
No.
in
No.
any new setting.
No. And
They're
so
very vocal.
it was Coco and it was Primrose that was out. And boy, and in the meantime of trying to get them back in the fence, the big gate
Comes
that-
off the hinge.
completely comes off the hinge. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, you know? So my sweet future son-in-law, Justin, started to help me, and I'm jumping up and down on this thing, and we're getting on there. And the funny story is, I've never been called this before, but the photographer looks at Sarah and says, your mama is a bad person. Not that. You know what I mean. You add the expletive to that. Anyway, so we get the goats. Justin, he picks up Primrose, who starts
In his nice clothes.
his nice clothes,
Ooh.
and I get Coco, and we managed to get them all back in the gate and fix the gate, all that. In the meantime, the storm comes, and it is another straight line wind storm that
Is
comes.
it?
Yes.
Oh, well, I was in church when
Y'all were still in church when
Well,
it happened.
when I texted you, said you thought y'all could handle it, so we
Yeah.
just stayed where we were at.
So now we're fighting getting goats back in because everybody wants to come through the gate now.
She couldn't send an SOS to me because it was too crazy. She was busy.
It's too busy.
Right.
Anyway, so we made it right back to the house when the bottom fell out.
Talk about trouble, sister. I was on Sunday.
On Sunday, I was like, this is Jesus' day. Come on.
Everybody's supposed to be
This is the
resting.
Lord's day. It's supposed to be resting.
Everybody's supposed to be resting. Them
So-
goats didn't listen.
But anyway, so with that being said, my husband had already bought the wire to run the electric fence
Right.
for that. So that in itself, we worked on pickles after they got home from church. We got our pickles ready and canned to do dill pickles. And then the guys started on the electric fence out in the back pasture behind Mom's house. And we've got
Because
that
that was-
wired.
That was one area where they were getting out at.
Right.
Was right. There's a small pasture that we fenced in back there that they had worked the barbed wire fence loose and they could just hop through. And so that was one area, and then this other area up here at the pond.
Yeah, which is the next area we got to fix.
Right.
So we got that fixed. We're all trying to leave there.
Yeah.
And get out of the fence. And my sweet little Murphy. So everybody was wondering, okay, is the fence really working?
Nobody wanted to stick their finger on it to try
My
it.
sweet little Murphy stuck his nose to that thing, and it worked. He
It
tucked
ate
him
him up.
and he took off running. And so
He yelled.
he sure did.
He sure did. He come home and he pouted the rest of the day, didn't he? He didn't do
He
anything.
sulked the rest of the evening. I don't think he got off the couch the rest of the evening. He was really upset about that. It hurt his feelings.
I do appreciate him falling on the sword for us, though. That was.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna touch it. Were you gonna touch it? Were you gonna touch it?
No.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
So Sunday was an eventful day. We got that
Trouble, and more trouble.
So we got that all cleared up, and so then we go into Monday.
So
Monday.
On Monday was your award ceremony, Levi. What was your award ceremony for, Levi?
It was a school thing.
What'd you do?
I wasn't there for the whole school year, but what they did is we were sitting down in the gym on the floor, and all the parents and grandparents were sitting down in the very back watching, and so
What'd you get?
the first hold on.
Oh, yeah. What you
So
said?
the first row would walk up and they would go by and the teacher would call their names and say like A honor roll or an AR or AB honor roll and AR or AR and stuff like that.
What
And
does
so-
AR stand for? Because they might not know what AR stands for. I know they know what AB honor roll and A honor roll is, but what is AR?
Reading?
Well, I think it's for
Advanced
like
reading.
you got a bunch of like AR points
For reading.
for reading
Mhm.
and you've read a lot of books.
Right. So, when they called your name,
So everybody that got AB honor roll or A honor roll, they would get this little necklace. At the very end, it was holding on to a gold thing that said A. It was a medal that said A honor roll if you got A honor roll, but if you got AB honor roll, it said AB honor roll.
on it.
So you got, what'd you get?
A.
All A's.
all A's.
So he is an official, done with what grade?
First.
And go to second grade.
And I'm a second grader.
Wow, that's hard to believe. Away at the ceremony getting awards, I stayed back. We had our potatoes that we had picked, the small ones off the racks and put in buckets to try to can.
How many pounds of potatoes, sister?
800 pounds.
800 pounds.
And I got through not even a full bucket. I washed and prepped and cleaned and got them blanched for Stumpy for when he got home, and he canned them for us. And cleaned up squash and zucchini again that we'd gotten from the garden. And then when you got in, we started prepping for dinner and all, but nothing major on that day.
No double trouble that day.
No double trouble
Just
that way.
busy harvesting. Like I said last week, I think this is our busiest season,
Yeah.
and it's like a whirlwind, harvesting everything. But anyway, and then Tuesday was a lot of the same thing.
Yeah.
It was my turn to spend in the kitchen while you went and took care of your
My family, yeah.
and
Almost there.
so that's when we did more squash, more potatoes on that day, and
Deannette cooked an amazing meal that day. That was the night we did the cabbage and
that was a meal that we cooked almost everything from every night. So our goal, what we've envisioned ourselves now that we're home, is to really learn to
home
cook,
in on cooking what we have here
cooking what we have here
and what's grown here.
and what's grown here. And so that particular night, we had some of our chicken that we'd processed, some of our Christmas
Lima beans.
Lima beans.
Oh, they're so good.
What else did I cook? There was something else.
Wait, that's the night you fried that.
Oh, when I fried up the squash.
The
That was the
squash.
night that Levi liked the squash.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And all, but
cooked an amazing meal that
right.
night.
And then of course Wednesday was
We drove and picked up our new Nubian dough. That was right. It rained that day.
4 hours, 2 hours there and 2 hours back.
There'll be a video coming on that.
absolutely. Y'all stay and watch the
And
video.
there's double trouble on that one, and Lord have mercy, I tell you what.
She
On the way
would,
home, don't give all the details now. We want them to be able to come back and watch it. If we tell them everything, they won't watch the video.
oh, you gotta be kidding me.
We had to improvise.
With our sweet little Esther that we got.
Esther.
You'll
She is a
see.
full Nubian doe. We went to Fisher Family Farms in Monticello, Florida, and met with Mary and brought.
Beautiful farm.
Oh, beautiful place.
Beautiful Nubians.
Wonderful.
She had a bunch of new
She sure
goats.
did. She
Our
sure
new
did.
goat's mama, Esther, she was big.
Very big and majestic.
She
We've got
was-
videos of that.
From her head to her legs, she was as tall as me.
She was.
She was tall. And I told you already that I think I'm falling in love with the Nubians.
Yeah.
I think
So am I.
I love them. Well, Esther's yours. She has.
Well,
Well,
Esther's
I
ready
got
to-
2 goats. I got 2 goats.
they love it, Levi. That's for
Right.
sure.
So
My
then,
friend, my goat that I had before Esther is Zeb, and then I got Esther. So
so that was a nice day,
An eventful day.
a rainy, eventful day to go do
Yeah.
it. And Thursday, what did we do Thursday? Thursday,
salsa day.
Yes, that was yesterday, actually. We spent the day,
Yes.
the full day doing salsa all day long. So making salsa, some
We had Levi with us every day. Now that he's done with school,
to help us.
to help us. But he'll be going to his summer program, and not next week because he goes back to his dad's.
Next week I go back to my dad's. Then when I come back, I'll be going.
Yep.
To your summer program.
What did you do for us yesterday, Levi? It was such a sweet thing that you did.
So,
Sarah and Justin were here, and my daughter and future son-in-law, and we were here. We was cooking dinner and everything.
And so, what I did when they were cooking dinner, if you were wondering what these papers were that I've been holding, that has like the smiley face on the back, I made these little things that describe.
You want to turn them around and show them the front of one of them? I don't know which one you want.
I just can't
I'll
help
show.
but sharing these with you. He wanted to show. It's the sweetest thing. He was so thoughtful in everything.
This says for taking me places. Nini's took me some places.
Let me show you this one. Look, I want you. If you can see that. If you can see that.
Hold on, give it to Nini so Nini can do it.
And,
Since it's hers.
Oh. Yes, sir.
So it says for taking me places, Nini's. Thank you, he says. And then it says, you are the best. And he gave me a smiley face. And if that doesn't do your heart good for your great nephew to do something like that, I will definitely put a date on this and it'll go in the keepsake box for sure.
This is Nana's.
Mhm.
And I can't think of a better, more honorable thing to be thanked for. I think we all shed tears yesterday when he gave it to us. But
I gave
Sarah and Justin
Sarah and Justin and them two
right.
Yeah.
But we were the ones here at the and Nanny.
and Nanny.
But for mine, it was for teaching the Bible, Nana. That's what he thanked me for. And he said, thank you on the inside. And then I got, you are the best as well, with a smiley face on the end.
If you notice, they're technically all the same, except for
the
this.
front.
Except for this one.
And
This is kind of an weird thing, but my nanny always lets me do this. It's for letting me play video games. It says for the best video games. It says nanny, which means for letting me play video games every time I can do it. This says thank you for that, and if you flip it over, I said the same thing, you were the best, and then I flipped it over, smiley face.
And so Sarah got for making me laugh.
For making me laugh.
And
Rah-rah.
and Justin got for taking me fishing.
Yeah.
And they all got the same writing on each.
Here is the lesson in this, sister. You think that they're not watching. You think that they're not paying any attention to you.
Well,
But they
if
are.
you think that, you're wrong.
They are. And so,
My
What?
brother he does everything I do. He tries to do everything I do.
that's what baby brothers are for. That's exactly right. So,
If you think me and my brother don't watch stuff, that's not right.
Well, kids are watching, and
Yeah.
all kids want is for someone to love them and to pay them attention, and we try to do that. Of course, there were times we're busy, like bless his heart today. We had to run all these errands, and he was, whew.
he was over it. But you know what? I reminded him real quick, like,
Over it.
what was I preparing you for? What were we preparing you for today? To be a what?
You tell him.
A good husband one day. Right.
Yeah.
He's going to have to learn to go shopping with his wife. Right?
That's right.
It's all prep. That's right.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
So anyway, that's pretty much our weekend review. What do we have coming up soon? More harvesting. The corn has grown tall and tasseled. It's filling out. So
This is our last
our bell peppers and our jalapeno peppers are coming on strong.
this next week we'll be starting some new markets that we
Some
haven't
new
done.
markets that we haven't done. We are gonna have to fix the fence for the cows
I go to market
close to
all the time.
hold on a second, baby. Close to the pond. We'll have to fix that. So we got that to do and all. But Nothing major as far as trouble, other than just busy.
These darn cows and goats.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that was a lot. But we didn't say we talked about our Nubian, getting our Nubian. I guess we'll share more of that on the video.
What's that?
So tonight is gonna be another thing. I'm spending the night with Nana.
Absolutely. He always gets
I
a night at Nana's.
would do anything to spend the night with Nana every night.
Oh, that's sweet.
That would get old probably fast.
Yep.
It would.
I'm getting old. Next year I'm gonna be 8. 3 more years till I'm 10.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. It goes by fast, son. Cherish every moment.
That's right.
At least years are pretty long.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so not much double trouble this week.
So this next week, again, just working on harvesting our products, our vegetables, putting those things up, hopefully bringing some new videos to you, I hope. We still are working on that potato video to get it uploaded for you so you can see us harvesting our potatoes. And just, taking care of the animals. Now, I did increase a goat on milking. Sassy, my little Sassy, I separated her and Red, her little baby. And so I started nursing Sassy. So I have 4 goats I'm milking.
I didn't share this morning with you. Guess what I got to do this morning?
What'd you do?
And it's been a long time. Well, April was the last one that I got to do, but I got to assist Jace in milking October Grace.
How much y'all get?
We got a gallon and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to work my hands. I'll tell you what, that boy, to my half a jar of milking, he would already have a whole quart-sized jar full of milk. He can milk, I'm just telling you.
He can.
And but it was nice to be back out there with her and milking again, gathering that milk. That was fun.
Yeah.
She's much easier to milk though. You can get that, that natural finger motion going. With April, you had to do this, because she's a Dexter and her little teeth are so small. But it was nice. It was good to be back out there with her and milking.
Yeah.
And all. And
I did want to share, beside the farm thing, real quick, that we do want to extend our condolences to the people in Texas
absolutely.
who lost their children in the gun shooting this week. They've just been on my heart since it happened this week, of all those children and those teachers that lost their lives. And we continue to pray for them and ask that God would comfort those families that lost those. So I did just wanted to share that before we close out, because that did occur this week. Not on our farm, but it was just, it was tough to think about these children that are Levi's age having to deal with that horrific thing. So we're praying for those families.
Some positive talk.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you again for watching. Anything else?
No.
Not that I
Listen.
can think of.
I don't want to be doom and gloom, but prepare, right? Our whole purpose for harvesting and planting our gardens is to prepare. Stock your pantries. Be ready.
Learn how to can, learn how to put things up.
Teach the young ones how to do it. It's so vital for them to learn how to do that, because there are uncertain times, sisters, that are coming. We don't know what's going to happen. All that we do know is we can't continue on the path that we're on. So we are preparing with making sure that our family's going to have food to eat,
Right.
and stuff like that. So, and you can do the same. There's many ways that you can do it, even on a 1 acre plot of land, half acre plot of land. If you can't do it if you're in the city, you can purchase canned goods and stuff like that. But just prepare. That's what we've been doing this week. We've just been preparing.
Yep. So we'll see what we can get into next week and bring it to you again. Again, if you like our videos, hit the like button, subscribe. Please give us questions. Ask questions. Anything
We'd
you'd like
love
to
to
know.
answer.
Don't be
We'd love to answer.
afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Right.
Just like we had that one person contact us about canning
If you
green
ask,
beans and corn. So
if y'all have to ask an easy question, you can just ask me.
an easy question, you can do it. But anyway, as for Deannette, Levi, Denise, Thank you again for watching our podcast, episode 2 of Double Trouble Weekend Review. God bless you.
We'll see you next Friday.
We'll see you next Friday.
And as Papa always says, a simple life is a much more enjoyable life.
God bless you.
God bless you.